Bladesmiths, welcome to the Forge. We've got every type of steel you can possibly imagine, from 1095 stock steel to 52-100 ball bearings. You'll have to select at least 4 of these steels to use in a canister Damascus. Bladesmiths, choose your steel, choose your can. Your 10-minute design window starts now.
I chose to do a drop point recurve because it's the first successful blade I made in my shop for someone else, so it's kind of become personal for me.
He's got a lot of whiteout. What's he gonna do with that, Ben?
He's gonna line the inside of his can to stop the steel from sticking to his can.
I have a pleasant surprise of my can opening itself, and I can see the billet inside is one piece, and that gives me great comfort. As I'm getting ready to do the quench, I'm thanking the Lord for the presence to put a magnet on it to make sure that it's gone non-magnetic. So I know that I'm at critical temperature.
Oh my God, that's a bit of a warp, yeah. That's a lot of a warp.
I choose to just put pressure on the blade and hope that as it comes down to temperature some more on its own, that it will help correct itself.
My game plan is to make a clip point hunter. It's got a really stout edge to it. What's hard about a canister Damascus is you don't know what's going on the inside. It can be something really good, or it can be something that sends you home. As I'm trying to open up this canister, I'm seeing good things on the sides, and then I get the top completely off.
Uh-oh.
Where I put those big cube chunks, none of that's welded. It's just kind of hanging out.
My canister took a and I had to start another one.
Doing the same process, putting in my powder, except this time, instead of using those big cubes, I use the small cubes. I can't blame the material, but I don't think that those big cubes helped anything in the situation because I used such small other pieces.
Damn it.
I'm not sure where these sparks are coming from, but my table's on fire. I just say, the heck with it, I'm moving on. So I head to the welders.
I smell something burning. Whoa, what is going on over there? Just keep welding. Weld it shut.
I don't know what to do.
Now that the fire's under control, I'm headed back to the forge because it's going to take at least 10 to 15 minutes to get this thing up to welding temperature.
It looks like it welded solid. I don't see any cracks. I don't see any D-lambs.
Well, I see Deke grabbing some ball bearings.
I want a random pattern, so what I'm gonna do is really mix it up.
What else has he got over there? Fish hooks, bicycle chains, W1 round.
I like those materials because they're all hardenable metals. I've been spending like 35, 40 minutes trying to take that can off of there, and I'm running out of time here. Inside of a canister, normally you want to see a flat piece of steel, and that's not what I'm seeing.
An extra 5 minutes of letting that whiteout dry will save you starting another can.
It'll save you 90 minutes.
Exactly.
I can see all the cracks and all that, but you really can't see how deep the cracks go, so I want to see if it breaks.
Oh, and then Deke's billet just snapped in half.
I gotta start over from scratch now. I've got to get the canister packed, welded, and in the forge in a hurry. I've got a lot to do in a little bit of time. The second billet's going a lot better than the first one. It's solid. I'm gonna be kind of creative on getting that canister off because I'm gonna forge it almost down to the thickness I want it and then grind it off on the bevels. Going into this heat treat, if something happens, I'm done, and there's a lot of things that could go wrong. I didn't hear any cracks or tings.
That looks pretty straight to me.
I won't be comfortable until there's a fully finished knife right here. It's gonna be tight, but I'm gonna put a knife on the table.
3, 2, 1. This first round of competition is over. Bladesmiths, congratulations. You've made it to round 2 of this competition, and now that your blades have been tempered, it's time to turn those rough pieces of steel into sleek, high-performance knives. You'll have 3 hours in which to complete your work. Additionally, you must add guards to those blades. Good luck. Your 3 hour starts now.
I'm not great friends with the drill press at this point. Eventually, I get the first hole. Woohoo! Lord, give me another hole. Just one more. And then in all frankness, I threw up a prayer and said, God, I need this done in 3 minutes, and I got my second hole done. Thank you, Lord. As I'm at the grinder, I need it to be sharp to go through apples, and so I want my blade to be hair shaving sharp. The blade performs well, but I don't want to strike it on anything.
My top priority right now is to get this guard fitted.
Looks like Bubba is slotting that guard. Yeah, that's smart, because get it close with the angle grinder and then just use the file to just get it real tight.
Then I'm gonna do what the judges hate seeing. I'm gonna weld it onto the blade. I'm going with this route because it's the fastest thing that I can do, it's the easiest thing I can do, and it's more efficient.
He's got two-stage wrap. Basically, you do a spiral wrap on the base, and then you do a knot-over wrap on the top of that. That can make a really, really nice handle.
This wrap is coming out great. It's probably one of my better wraps. I've never done a canister before, and I really want to test how those welds are gonna hold up. So I'm gonna beat the hell out of it. It did phenomenal. The edge rolled just a tiny bit, nothing significant. So I took it right back over to the grinder, ran it twice, and it was fine.
I am going to make the handle a little bit wider right there, so it just kind of gives you that little bit of extra grip.
Sweet.
For the guard, I'm going to use a piece of 3/4 inch thick brass plate. Got my guard pretty well fitted up. Got to get everything peened up and glued up. I take some epoxy and I'm just kind of smearing it in the gaps there, just trying to fill them.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, drop your tools, stop what you're doing. This second round of competition is over.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test. To test the strength and durability of your edge, as well as the overall construction of your knives, I'll be chopping and stabbing into these paint cans. Remember, this test is all about what the cans do to your knives, and not what your knives do to the cans. Ryan, you're up first. You ready?
Yeah, man, let's do this.
Well, Brian, your blade held up. It's all in one piece still. Your handle construction is kind of square. It's a little bit blocky. And the finger wells and swells are set up so that my hand is about 1/2 inch away from the guard. But that all being said, well done.
Thank you.
Deke, you're up. You ready?
Go for it.
First things first, your edge held up really well. It's still sharp. The handle is really small. It was kind of wobbling around in my hand as I was swinging it. But all in all, I like the weight of this. I like the shape of it. Well done.
Thank you.
You're up, Bubba. How you feeling?
Get after it.
I'm like a freaking Pollock painting. Well, Bubba, it's all in one piece. But in some of the chopping, this fine edge you put on here did take a roll in several spots. But it feels good to swing. Your grind lines are nice. I like your pattern. That's a nice knife. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the sharpness test, a fan favorite, the apple slice. This test is all about what your knives do to these apples. I expect to see a good, clean slice all the way through them. With a dull knife, might tear or just crack those apples open. Brian, you're up first. You ready? Okay. All right, Brian, so down here, you've got a good sharp edge. And you can see it in the first couple of apples. Got some good clean slices. But as we get further into those apples, you can start to see where they've fractured and broken away. And that's because this section of the blade right here just doesn't have much of an edge anymore. I'd like to see it sharper, but it is a sharp knife. Nicely done.
Thanks.
All right, Deke, you're up next. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Okay.
Come on, baby.
All right, Deke, part of the cuts are clean, and part of the cuts, the apple actually cracks. You've got sharp sections on this knife. Here and here are sharp. Will it cut apples? You bet. But there are definitely some spots on this blade that are not as sharp as others. All in all, nicely done.
Thank you.
Bubba, you ready?
Get after it.
Okay.
Nice.
So, Bubba, if you look at these apples, see how it's clean right here, then cracked? Clean right there, and then cracked? Most of those apples, you can see that they're cut maybe the first quarter or third of the way through, and then they're just fractured out of the way. So it's still got an edge, it's just not really a sharp edge.
Bladesmiths, the judge's deliberation is complete. They've made their final decision. The bladesmith leaving the forge is Bubba. Your blade didn't make the cut. Doug Marcotte is going to explain.
Bubba, you put in a great effort and should be proud of yourself. However, your blade took the most damage in the strength test, and as a result, it suffered in the sharpness test. And that's the reason we're sending you home.
Bubba, please surrender your blade.
Damn, edge rolled. I wish I'd have put a little bit of a stouter edge on my blade. That's what I would have done different. But I enjoyed every part of it. It was just the best experience I've ever come across in this field.
Bladesmiths, I love pinball. This is a vintage pinball machine, so I had to give it a go, especially considering this is the last game of pinball this machine will ever see.
Oh boy.
That's because this isn't just a vintage pinball machine. In the first round of competition today, this is also your medal. Good luck, Bladesmiths. Your 3 hours starts now. The smaller sections of steel from the playing field of the pinball machine that are 5160.
Yeah, the bumpers.
The first thing I do, I take it over to the chop saw. I don't want to have to deal with those potential delamination issues. Those two bars need to start heating up. So I'm going back and forth from Big Blue to the forge with these different pieces of steel, drawing them out. I forged out the blade to its rough dimensions. I brought it up to temperature, let it air cool to black. This helps to kind of cool down the molecules in the steel so that they take the quench better. I pull it out, looks pretty darn straight. The edge hardened right up. I think I'm good.
The technique that I'm going to use is a sand my construction. Using the piece from the inside of the pinball machine, I want to sandwich that with the legs on the outside of the steel. I use my angle grinder and my great big wheel, and I grind off all the scale. While my steel's heating up in the forge, I grab the hydraulic press dies, preheat them a little bit. I do 2 quick presses with the flat dies to set the welds, so I can make sure that I'm getting that welded together correctly.
Ethan's tapping in the tip on Big Blue. It's a very tricky thing to do.
Ethan, across the forge with the oxyacetylene torch.
The ledge quench.
I'm doing an edge quench because I want to leave that back soft and the cutting edge hard, so it'll give the blade more strength and ideally prevent it from breaking. It's taking me a while because the blade's still thicker than I would normally get it and a lot thicker than I would like.
I'm making a layered construction recurve fighting knife. I'm gonna be doing 2 layers of leg and 2 layers of the bumper. I'm gonna take these 2 pieces, stick them together, and see if I can forge weld them to a billet.
Watching his welding, there's a lot of squeeze here and it comes up over here kind of stuff. I'd be interested to see how solid these welds are.
I don't understand why I can't get the angles flat. I cannot get this billet square. I'm going to try to solve this by maybe see if I could flatten it out a little bit better. I'm using the grinder to get as much of the surface material off to thin out the blade and perhaps even put a little bevel in there so that I can get it ready for the quench in this last few moments.
What is Steve doing?
he's gonna grind himself a knife.
It's not gonna be pretty, it's not gonna be shiny, but it sure is gonna be done.
Come on, where's that dang blade?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, drop your tools, shut down your machines. This round of competition is over. Bladesmiths, congratulations. You've made it to the second round of this competition. Now that those blades have been tempered, it's time to turn them into fully functional weapons by attaching handles to them so that we can test them for strength and durability in a pinball plunger smash and for edge retention in a loot bag slice. Good luck. Your 3 hours starts now.
Doing the grinding appropriately so I don't screw myself over is kind of hard.
That one pock mark there, it's not going away. So at this point, leave it alone.
By the thickness that I have left, I can't afford to take off any more material, so I'm calling it good. With my grinding done, it's time to move on to my handle, which means I need to get holes into my tang. I drill holes in my tang, but the fit is not ideal. So I have to drill a little bit more to make them less of an issue.
For the sharpness test, I'm gonna put a wicked edge on there, but it can't be too thin because for the pinball plunger smash, it has to be strong enough. I don't want my edge to roll over or chip.
As soon as I finished sharpening on the grinder, I get a whetstone and a piece of leather that I can strop with, just making sure that edge is polished and really sharp. My blade is very sharp. There is very little hair on my forearm now. This blade, it will shave.
My first priority is going to be a handle, because if it doesn't have a handle, they're not going to be able to test it at all. The materials I decided to use for my handle construction is a piece of brass for the guard and a piece of white oak wood.
It's like white oak.
The guard was not a parameter, but in my opinion, the best way to protect the person using it needed a guard. The clock is ticking down, so I start profiling my handle. I'm going for a fighter-style shape.
He's going to take that 1-inch contact wheel and contour the handle and the guard all in one shot and make it seamless.
I intend to have a palm swell and a thinner spot down where your pinky and ring finger would be so that your hand would fit really nicely to the handle.
Ooh, I kind of like what Ethan did to the back of that handle.
It's really nice work.
I'm finishing up the handle to make it to where it would fit my hand. I don't know if it'll work for the judges' hands, but I can't use their hands, so that's all I got.
I have a lot of delaminations and seeing if I can even things out and get it ready for a handle. I have to keep checking it to make sure it's not thinning out the blade too much.
So Steve has drilled 4 holes in his tang and then freehand drilled them through the wood. The odds of all holes lining up perfectly are very small.
I've chosen the Corby bolts that have 2 pieces to them, and I'm going to put them through the holes and get them to connect in the center. I need to get the final edge on it. I have got to get this thing done. I'm feeling anxious. I know I'm going to get it done, but it may not be quite good enough.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This round of competition is over.
Hello, Bladesmiths. Welcome to the strength test. To test the strength and durability of your edge as well as the overall construction of your blade, I'll be launching that 52-100 9-pound pinball at the edge of your knives 3 times. Steve, you're up first. You ready?
I'm ready.
Well, Steve, I like the shape of your blade. I like the forward bend to it. But the pinball did some damage. There's some rolls up here at the edge. There's also some gapping here at the handle in the back and in the front. But it all held up. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, Ethan, you're up next. Are you ready?
I suppose.
You suppose. Well, I suppose I'm going to do it. Well, Ethan, first things first, it did take some rolling. The handle is a little bit big. There's a lot of handle left over on this knife. But I love how you relieved all the grinds on your guard here. Beautiful knife.
Thank you.
Michael, you're up. You ready?
I am.
Well, Michael, being that your blade is so thin, you have the most flexible of the blades that are out there. It ended up that flexibility gave you a little advantage in this test because the edge rolling that's here, and there is some, it's not bad. Well done.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, this is the loot bag slice. To test the edge of your blade, I will take your weapon and I will slash on these loot bags, emptying and liberating the prizes in there. Now, unlike the strength test, this is all about what the edge of your blade will do to these loot bags. Steve, you're up first. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Steve, as you can see, in slicing this bag, it just cuts on the impact area. On the slice itself, it didn't cut the bag open. And Steve, sadly, your blade, sir, did not really cut. Ethan, your turn. You ready?
I suppose.
All right, Ethan, let's talk about your handle here. The swell you have there makes my hand go only in one spot where it's comfortable. But because you have such a large handle, if you go to other spots, it gets in the way. Now your edge. As you can see, it cuts in every movement. It liberated the contents, which allows me to say your blade, sir, will cut.
Thank you.
All right, Michael, your turn. You ready?
Oh, yeah. Steve's knife struggled with the loot bag slice. Ethan's obliterated the bag. I'm feeling a little bit nervous.
First up, your edge is sharp enough to cut this loot bag open. It feels good in the hand. It was easy to move around with your blade. And overall, sir, your blade will cut.
Bladesmiths, the judge's deliberation is complete. It's time for one of you to leave the forge. The bladesmith leaving the forge is Steve. Your blade didn't make the cut.
Steve, all the blades took the same kind of amount of damage during the strength test, but in the sharpness test, your blade just didn't cut. And for that reason, we're sending you home.
Steve, please surrender your blade.
This is a really great experience. I was able to not only see other smiths at work, but also to push my own limits. I have learned some things here, and I'm going to take them to my own shop, and I may just make another 6-hour night.
Bladesmiths, to find out what kind of lethal damage your weapon will do, I will take your barbarian sword and lovingly caress the edge on the torso. Michael, you're up first. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do this.
Oh, God. Jesus.
Just the movement alone and the balance of your blade allows for deep, crushing cuts. Not only does it cut the skin, it goes into the bone and into the organs right behind it. Your weapon, sir, will definitely kill. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Ethan, you ready?
Let's do it.
The balance and the weight, it's unbelievable. It feels that you can wield it continuously and move around. This is what you want to carry into battle. It's strong enough and sharp enough to lacerate into the chest, break the bones, and get into the organs. Because of that, it will kill.
Gentlemen, welcome to the strength test. Michael, you're up first. You ready?
Oh yeah, let's go.
Nice. This is so much fun to swing. There's no edge deformation that I can see at all. The handle is comfortable. The only thing I could say at all is that the crossguard has some sharp corners here, and they kind of bit into my fingers as I was swinging it. But aside from that, it's a wonderful sword. Well done.
Thank you.
Ethan, are you ready?
Let's do it.
This thing is amazing. It's light, it's beautifully balanced. It was easy to control, took no damage. I love that I can choke right up to the guard here, and it's just super comfortable the whole time. Really well done.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the sharpness test. You ready?
Let's go.
All right, Michael. When I made that first punch through the skin, I was expecting some resistance, and there wasn't any. Your edge is beautiful. Your guard, I mean, I kind of like the way you've got that sort of an S shape to it, but it bites a little bit on the hand. But this is a sword that you could just play with all day long. Nicely done. All right, Ethan, you're up. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. So this sword, it's light, it's fast. The balance is right back here in my hand. Nothing's pulling the tip. I know exactly where the tip is. The cuts are beautiful, sharp blade. It's a great cutter, nicely done.
Thank you.
Michael, Ethan, this was not an easy decision, but a decision has been made. The Forged in Fire champion is. Ethan, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion, and that is a title that comes with a check for $10,000. Please present your weapon to the judges.
Wow, I don't know what to say. It's a very humbling feeling to know that I won a competition against an awesome sword and excellent bladesmith. Never stop pursuing your dreams, no matter how crazy they are, because of all the dreams I'm going after, this is just the beginning.